NFL fans, Arizona Cardinals fans, today we're breaking down the Arizona Cardinals roster and giving you a full 7-round mock draft, even though they only have 5 picks in this draft. They got to get them right. It's very, very important. They don't have a ton of free agents this year, led by Kaiser White and Will Hernandez. They don't have a ton of free agents, which is great. A couple of guards, a couple of linebackers, but they do have some huge holes to fill, especially on the D-line and at cornerback, in my opinion. So let's get into this Arizona Cardinals full 7-round mock draft. All right, guys, let's get into this mock draft. If you could do me a huge favor real quick, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help us get into the YouTube algorithm. Right, so we're up at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No 6th, no 7th round pick for the Arizona Cardinals, right? So this is who's left on the board, led by Will Johnson, Kenneth Grant, Josh Simmons. So these guys couldn't really been better for the Arizona Cardinals when you're looking at this roster and needs that they have. Will Johnson is an epic cornerback, man. He's got great size. He's been excellent at Michigan. Injuries derailed his season this past year, but at 6'2", 202 pounds, he's an elite cornerback, right? Josh Simmons, an offensive lineman I really like as well, had an injury-riddled season. And then Kenneth Grant, D-line for Michigan, right? The D-line in this 3-4 scheme is not great, right? They're all pretty shitty in my opinion. I think Kenneth Grant might be the guy, man. He's pretty big, 6'3", 339. He's a great size defensive lineman for a 3-4 scheme. Arizona Cardinals fans, it might be a sexier pick to go with someone like Will Johnson or go down and grab a guy like Jalen Walker, which is really interesting as well at 16. But Kenneth Grant is an absolute savage, and they need help with the run game. I love Kenneth Grant in the first round for your Arizona Cardinals. All right, Cardinals fans, now we're up in the second round, pick 47 overall. Taking a look at how the board fell to us, Schlesinger, the linebacker, is very interesting, but I think cornerback is the position of need. Cornerback and offensive line, these offensive tackles, that's kind of where I want to go right now. Azariah Thomas, he's really flying up people's draft boards, man. He is very, very talented. Great coverage grade. Man coverage grade at 71.8. The coverage grade coming in around 78. Very impressive year. Allowed no touchdowns this past year. Only had 1 interception, but the key to him, he only allowed a passer rating of 50 against him this year. Very, very impressive. And at 6'2", 200 pounds, he's got great size. I do love Ben Morrison, the cornerback from Notre Dame, too. His tape was very, very impressive for me. Injuries derailed his season as well. But Ursary is on the board too, the tackle from Minnesota, right? He could play a little bit of guard. He played a lot of left tackle at Minnesota. So where do we want to go in the second round? For me, it's between Thomas and Ben Morrison. Ben Morrison was one of my favorite players in this draft class. I mean, I love the tape, but the man coverage grade isn't really there. And in this 3-4 scheme, man-to-man is important, but it's not super important. So who's better zone defender? Darian Porter is on the board as well, too. He's horrible against the run. Absolutely terrible. Just a poor tackler, in my opinion, right? But zone coverage grade is 91.1. So he could fit really well into the scheme that, doesn't run too much man-to-man. So man, I just love Ben Morrison, but he doesn't do anything super great. It's hard to go off of these grades because he didn't play a lot this season, but the tape in 2023 really jumped out to me. 3 interceptions, bit of a ball hawk there. Azariah Thomas, he's just very, very sound in coverage. I just love his size too at 6'2", 198. I think I'm going to go Azariah Thomas in the second round, get a true number 1 outside corner with really good size. I love that pick there, guys. Now, we're picking in the third round. I want to bring in an offensive lineman, right? Wyatt Millam, he's a tackle at West Virginia, but He's going to move inside at the pro level. That's just the way he rolls. At 6'6", 317, he can play right tackle or either of the guard positions. So that gives you a lot of great flexibility, man. I love Wyatt Millum to the Arizona Cardinals in the 3rd round. I think that's an excellent pick, right? All right, Arizona Cardinals fans, we're picking here in the 4th round. And, we could go safety. Budda Baker is getting a little bit older. But for me, going D-line, this D-line has been horrendous, man. They're so bad. So Jamari Caldwell is on the board. J.D. Peegs from Mississippi is on the board. I really, really want to address the linebacker position is interesting as well. But I think I have a pick that's going to be there later in this draft at linebacker. For me, Jamari Caldwell from Oregon makes the most sense. Another excellent run defender. We need to revamp this defensive front 100%. Because the outside linebackers are pretty good, but all 3 D linemen are not very good at all. 6'1", 340. He's big enough to play the nose. Jamari Caldwell in the 4th round goes to the Arizona Cardinals. All right, Arizona Cardinals fans, we're up in the 5th round, our final selection in the 2025 draft, unfortunately. But I want to address the linebacker position. We need a true off-ball linebacker here, guys. A lot of good guys to choose from. I like Jay Higgins from Iowa. Very, very, very impressive, right? Played most of his snaps not on the D-line, so he's a true off-ball linebacker, Jay Higgins. I do like Danny Stutzman, the linebacker from Oklahoma as well. He's awful in coverage, which isn't particularly awesome, right? You don't really want to have, in that missed tackle rate above 12%, I'm not in love with that. Missed tackle rate for linebackers, I want it under 10%. And then Cody Simon from Ohio State, extremely, extremely impressive, right? Missed tackle rate a little above where I like it, but he's excellent against the run. He can rush the passer and drop in coverage. Cody Simon is a very, very talented player, right? And then we got Kobe King from Penn State. Same missed tackle rate as most of the guys in this class. Not so good against the pass, excellent against the run. 74 tackles this year. Another, in the box linebacker. So, Kobe King, Cody Simon, or Lindenberg. I do like Jay Higgins as well. Lindenberg, he doesn't make the cut. So, it's between Cody Simon. He's just such a good player, man. I can't pass up on him. Cody Simon goes to the Arizona Cardinals here in the 5th round, guys. They don't have a lot of picks, unfortunately, but I think we had an overall really good draft. They need a cornerback. Isaiah Thomas, he's one of the best on the board there, so giving us a C- grade on a team that is desperate for cornerback help makes no sense. But Wyatt Millum and Caldwell, A's for that. Kenneth Grant, they definitely needed some D-line help in this draft. And we brought in the linebacker, Cody Simon. If you look at the middle of this defense, those linebackers did not have the greatest season. That's why I want to bring in an off-ball linebacker to compete in this room, especially with Kaiser White hitting free agency, right? We needed to address that need. Okay, guys. There's our draft. Kenneth Grant, Isaiah Thomas, Wyatt Millum, Jamari Caldwell, and Cody Simon for your Arizona Cardinals. I think if you get a haul like this, Arizona Cardinals fans will be very happy. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're closing in on 15,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for tuning into the J All Day Sports Show. Peace.